Okay, so yesterday we discussed about what is the structure of HTML. So that is where we got discussed about what is the how the tags will be created and what are the building blocks of HTML and also what each meta tag will do here. Okay, so I'm not going to explain any head tag again because I told you people to go through it. I'm not going to explain it again. So, but I'll just give a brief that what is the viewport will do. So user may use the website in multiple devices. For example, if you take example of Flipkart, I was not using only in the desktop mode. I may be using the tab or I may be using in the mobile or I may be using in desktop, right? Even I use in smart TVs also. But whichever the device I access this uh, Flipkart, so it should work properly without any design issue. So that is what called as the responsiveness. What we call it as responsiveness, because whatever the website we call before the HTML version of 4 and 5, in the first version and up to third version, what people used to do is they used to develop three different pages, like for desktop one page and for mobile one page and for the tab and iPad's one page. So what is the main purpose? Because they don't want to disturb the layout system. They don't have the responsive concept of responsiveness. But in the CSS3, we got this concept of responsiveness, nothing but media queries. So which will help us to deal with the responsiveness. That means we'll create only once in one page, but based on the device, automatically it will change the view of that particular page. Got it? So that's what my here media query viewport will do. Sorry, viewport meta tag will do. Okay. So give me a minute. So what we discussed today, meta tags. So what are the meta tags that we have? Hmm? Loud. What are the meta tags that we have? Okay. Apart from these three, what are the tags that we have? Pardon? Author. Okay, then href. Then okay. So which is the meta tag that you use for SEO purpose? So what is the meaning of SEO? So that plays a very major role in any website. What is the purpose of SEO usually? Because even though your website is too good, until unless you became popular, not many people will visit your web page. So if you want to make your page more popular, SEO also plays a very key role, nothing but keywords. For example, I just searched for a keyword called Achievers ID. Okay. Hey Naushika, good morning. Yeah. So I just searched for a keyword of Achievers ID or something. I just searching for what is the top 10 places for dinner. Okay. So what happens immediately as soon as you click on enter, the Google bots we call the bots, what it will do, virtual bots. So they will pick each and every keyword that you given. That is why based on each and every keyword you missed, the research result varies. Why it is? Because the Google bots go with each and every keyword that you give in the search bar. Then what it will do? It will search for based on that results. It will check which website have which hotels have more traffic, like how which website which hotel is continuously searched by many people. Got it? So even Flipkart, when they introduced first time, it will not have that many users. Now if you just search for Flipkart, you'll get Flipkart on the top of the page. Even if we can create the Flipkart duplicate website, but it will not come on the top of the page. Why? Because we don't have that much traffic in the sense incoming and outgoing of users into our web page, right? So we don't have that much traffic to our web page. So that is the reason why SEO also plays a very key role. That's why, for example, when I search for Flipkart, in the SEO meta tags will include Flipkart or like what we have mobiles, some whatever the keywords are there, will include all the required keywords. Due to that, what happens when we search for best mobiles under 30,000, it will search you Flipkart as well, because in the meta tags in the SEO keywords I added that also best mobiles under 30,000. So these all help us to deal with the growth of a web page also. That's why SEO is also plays a very key role whenever you are developed any application. Got it? So next one is the next go with the meta tags. So what are the HTML meta tags, basic meta tags that we'll get? Those are doc type. So here doc type is also one of the meta type. So and also then what we have title. So what is the title will do? Title is nothing but the name of your document, so that you want to showcase on your web page. Got it? So next what we have, even meta is a meta tag, and also links. Okay, links style, these are all that you'll get in the upcoming classes. So these are also some of the meta tags that we'll get in the basic HTML5. Got it? So next we have the what tags we have? Text tags. So what is the purpose of text tags? Hmm? So for example, just consider a bowl and a water bottle. What is the purpose of a bowl? You can use for any purpose, right? For water or for items or for like a particular curries, you can put anything in the bowl. What is the purpose of a water bottle mainly for? Water, liquid items, right? But bowl supports both liquid and solid items. So in the same way here, so the text tags are nothing but the purely they'll help us to go with the text. So it may be headings, or it may be like a basic paragraphs, or it may be like any links, anything. Okay, but it will just help us to create a text things. So some of the basic text tags that we'll get here are, the first one is the paragraph. So what is the purpose of paragraph? Just to create a paragraph, right? Usually for a heading, we'll give the content down, right? So for example, like given some question, I need to answer it in a proper format. So paragraphs are the thing which will give us a proper value. For example, if I just give here P tag. Okay. So P tag is also just like a normal tag. It's not any unclosed or void tags. Okay. Self-closing tag. It's a normal tag. So now what I'll give. So if I give some content, so let me run live server. Yeah. Now if you see, I got my content. Even if I have a big paragraph also, what we will do? So now if you see, I got my text. Usually also I'll get them in the same way without any breakage. But here paragraph plays a key role like for maintaining a content in a proper context. Got it? So that's one of the purpose of paragraph tag. So now if you go back, next one is the heading tags. What is the purpose of headings generally? What headings will do usually? So for title purpose, maybe the text that we want to highlight. For example, just imagine I given like what is meant by HTML, and also I given same content in the paragraph, heading also in the paragraph, and also answer in the paragraph. So it will be very hard for the users to understand what is the question and what is the answer. So that is where we need to make some difference between the heading and the solution, right? So that's where these headings comes into the picture. Okay. So headings we have, what are the types of heading tags that we'll get? How many tags we have? So we have heading tags from H1 to H6. Okay. So let me give like, this is Achievers ID. So the same tag I can use for 3, 4, 5, 6. So now what I need to change? That number. So the tag starting will be same, but I just need to replace with the number. So now let me go back to H1, 2, 3, And so whatever the tag I started with, I was just closing with the same tag. Okay. So if I go back, so now if you see, the content is same, but if you see based on the tags that I have given, what happening here? So the content is just getting reduced with the size and also boldness. So here each and every text have the same boldness, but due to the size of the text, what happening here? So it was just reducing small by small. So already H6 is too small. So that's the reason we don't have any H7 tags. So we have available only with H1 to the H6 tags. Got it? So in the similar way, we have few other tags. Like what are the other tags we have? Heading tags we got. So strong, like EM. Also we'll have abbreviation tag. Then break. So that is some different types of tags. No need to discuss them. So acronym. So block code. So address, site, pardon. Those are not not commanded text tags. Okay. So etc. So how many people download the cheat sheet of HTML file? Raise your hands properly. What about the remaining people? I told you people to go through the cheat sheet, right? How much time it will take? So how much time it was taken to download it? How much time? Not even 1 minute. So that much busy you people are, right? Just let me know what that much work you are doing in a day. Became that much busy just not to download, just to not to spend few seconds. Huh? See, just come out of that college mindset, okay? College mindset or whatever the attitude that you have now. So if you want to grow in your life, just keep everything aside. I told you in the day one, I was not asking you people to spend 24/7 on this. I just asked you for 2 hours per day, right? What you people are doing that much busy here? Still are you childs to just to follow you up every day, do the work, do the work? No, right? You are just grown up. You should have at least shame to get scolded by me or anyone at this age. You're not a child anymore to get scolded. Yes. Okay, cool. So what is the next topic? So these are some of the tech stacks that we have. So apart from this, we have many other tech stacks also. Just go through the cheat sheet and try to find out what each tech stack will do. So however, like here, paragraph is giving some context and heading tags are dealing with headings. In the same way, each and every tag have their individual usability. Okay. So each one will help us to deal with individual users. Okay. So like strong will help us to deal the text with the bold. Okay. So bold strong will help us to convert the text into bold, and also we have I tag, nothing but italic. So it will convert our normal text into italic tags. Like that, we have many other tags. Each and every tag will have their unique features. Got it? So the content may be same, but based on the tag that you give, Yes, give me a minute. Hi guys, online is my voice is audible clearly?
Yeah, voice is there. I can't see the video though.
So you should have. So is it now or from the starting?
No.
You are able to see my screen now?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so these are some of the tags that we'll have just to deal with the text content. Okay, so in the same way, as I said, all the tags are same, but we are just categorized here based on their usage. So whatever the purpose that we use, based on that purpose only, we just segregated our tags. Got it? So now let's go with the next tags is nothing but link tags. So what is the purpose of link tags? What links will do? Pardon? Okay, then the routing we call it as, simply to say, as in our terminology, routing we call it as. So for example, if you want to go from one page to other page, or if you want to go from one web page to other web page, or if you want to access anything, for example, if you want to open any file everywhere, what we are using? Click, right? Click functionality we will be doing. So here, based on the click, it depends what we are doing, whether we are going to other page or whether running any function, or we are switching on anything. So it depends on what is the event that we trigger to that particular click, right? So here links also same way. So what is the links will do? Whenever user clicks on link, it will help us to deal with multiple things that we discuss now. It may open a new page, it may download a page, it may open a new web page, many things it will do, right? So now let's see how this, under this link tags, we have two major tags that we have. That is, one is the anchor tag, nothing but a tag, and the next one is the base tag. For example, what is the major difference between an anchor tag and a base tag? So first, let's go with the base tag. So if you go here, let me go with Amazon. Okay. So now if you see, I have some, just concentrate on the URL. I have some URL here, amazon.in. Okay. So let me delete this. Okay. So now my URL is amazon.in. So I just want to access something like, yeah, let me access this. So now if you see, what is my URL now? It got changed here, right? So at the same time, let me go with one more item here. Any item. So now if you see, what is the URL? So what is the common thing in this URL here? Amazon.in. So what is the major purpose of keeping that Amazon.in here? So that Amazon.in what here, just making the brand value there, right? So the user should know from which particular web page that he accessing this whole thing. So that is also one of the thing. And also that Amazon.in is the base URL for that whole web page for the domain, right? So remaining all are just the items that we are accessing within that web page. So what is here, how we are keeping that base URL? So that is where that base tag comes into the picture. So whenever user wanted to host some web page into, like, a host some web application server lo web application host cheyalante, what we will do, we should need a URL. So if you want to make that URL when you hosted a web application into the server, then definitely we should use this base tag, which will keep our URL into the with a particular base thing. Like for example, Amazon.in, Flipkart.com, or else for example, what we have Kindle.in, or also we have what we have other things like Myntra.com. So these all are just to showcase the brand value, and also just to showcase the particular URL from where it is getting hosted. We need to use this base URL. Got it? So next one is a major thing. Base URL will use only one time in a page. But coming to the anchor tag, so everywhere, wherever I need a link. For example, I need a link to the home page. Also, I need a link to the contact page anywhere. So that's where I'll use with this. Which one? Anchor tag. Okay. So now let's check how this anchor tag will work. Okay. For example, so let me segregate these things. So no need about worry about what I was doing. I'll just text. We'll get to know what we are doing in the upcoming classes. Okay. So this is called as internal CSS. Sorry. Oh yeah, internal CSS. Okay. There will be three types of CSS that we are going to use in the upcoming classes. So this is what called as internal CSS, where I was writing the styles within a tag called style in the head part, not in the body part. Okay. Okay. So So HR is nothing but horizontal row, which is one of the self-closing tags. Got it? So now let's go with next category. Link tags. Okay. So now anchor tag. So as I already mentioned, attributes plays a very key role in the where backbone of our HTML, right? So here, if you see, A is one of the tags. And now if you see, if I just remove this href here, okay, just I kept A and I given link like home. Okay, or else let me go with few more tags like home, contact. So no one is ready to tell what is the mistake we did there, right? So blog. So I have given three things. Now if I go to the browser, so now how these are looking like? These are just looking like a normal text here. So is there any link functionality added here? So even though anchor tag will convert our normal text into the links, the main thing what here required is the attributes. Okay. So there will be the three different ways that we can access the attributes. For example, so if you go with the basic structure, start tag. Okay. So attribute name and attribute value. Okay. So attribute value we given, and then what we will do? So attribute value and content. Okay. So content, and then we'll have the tag name, right? End tag. Simply to say start tag, end tag. So this is one of the structure of creating a giving attributes and attribute values. Okay, for a tag. So there is other way. So it applies for both and void tags or general tags or any type of tag that you take. So these type of giving attributes will be common. Okay, so there will be no difference. What we are doing in the starting tag in the head part, we are just giving the what we are the head part in the sense starting tag. Okay, we are just adding an attribute name and we are just adding a value to that particular attribute. Got it? So if you go with the second type of adding attributes, so here same method, start tag and attribute name But here we'll get multiple things like property name colon property value, then exclamation semicolon, same again, property name colon property value. So it goes on continuous. Okay. So then ending content and the end tag. Got it? So what is the difference between these two type of scenarios here? So the first one is with individual value of an attribute. For example, I just want to give only one value. So just imagine a form I have a fields like enter your name, email ID. Okay. At the same time, some different forms will get a like enter your first name and the last name, right? So also you'll get sometimes surname also. So like this here, even if you give all the values in the one input also, you'll get the same value. Even if you give different individually also, you're getting same output, right? But what is the purpose here? We're just segregating the data there. So here, if you go with the first type of attributes, how we'll use is, for example, if I have only one value, okay, I just have one attribute name, and for that attribute name, I'll have only one value. I don't have multiple values. So in such cases, I'll go with the first type of scenario where attribute name and attribute value. So if you see here, so I have an attribute of what is attribute name here in this one. Class is the attribute name. Okay. So what is the value here? Border. Okay. So that is the attribute name and attribute value. For example, I can write the same thing in a different way. So here I was just by giving this, what I'm getting, I was just getting a border here, right? So that is what my attribute name and value is giving me the output. For example, I want the same output but in a different way. So how I can use it? So instead of this class, I'll go with inline styling. Okay, style. Okay. So as it said, three types of styles we'll get in the HTML CSS, right? So first one is inline, basically. So inline is nothing but the type of writing the styles within the element. So what we are doing, so I'm not writing my styles anywhere, somewhere and accessing it. Okay. I was writing within the tag, starting tag, and I was applying to the same particular element. So what is the difference between these internal and inline is, for example, so as I mentioned here, dot, it mentions a class name. Okay. So just imagine it's mentioned, it represent one of the value. So wherever I give this value with the key name of class attribute, class is equal to border. For all those elements, I'll get my border. So that is what the purpose of internal. Here, what I was doing, reusability, right? So I declared only one time value, Okasara Rasan, but I can get the value wherever output, wherever I give the particular key name. So that is the advantage of using internal. But if you go with inline, what I'm doing, I was just giving only to myself. I was not writing for universally. So as I was writing within me, it will be helpful only for me. For example, now here if you see, so first I give an attribute and I what I need to give here, value, property name. I was going with the secondary way of writing attribute, property name, and what is the value? 1px solid color. Okay, red I need. So the same thing I given here. Okay, but I given in it two different ways. How I given? One is internal CSS. Next one is the inline CSS. So now if you see, did I got the border or not? Okay. Something is. Okay. One sec. Okay. So if you see for text tags only, I got the border. So did I got the border for the link tags? No. Why? Because we are accessed only here. Which one? Text tags div section, right? So for that particular piece of code only, I written the inline CSS. Got it? So, but if you see in the previous method, what we did, we just access the class. For example, now if I just replace it with the key name of attribute name and attribute value. Okay, the same thing I'll do here again. So attribute name and attribute value. Okay. So now if you see here, I got border for here, one border I got, and also I got here. But what is the difference here? Green and red. So what it means? So whenever the browser executes your code, as I mentioned, from where it will start from? Top to bottom, not from bottom to top or any middle. So always the browser will execute code from top to bottom. So when the browser starts executing, for example, just imagine I have 10 people. Okay. So if I keep the people one by person, back to back person, so who will be visible to me on the top? First person. For example, if I just moving forward, so who will be visible at the last? The last person, right? So if you stay in front, you will be able to see only one person. But if I keep on moving front, I'll be able to see at the last person only, right? So if I was counting, I should end with which one? The last person I should end with my count. For example, 5 people are standing. If I start with 1, I'll count by one. The first person will be 1, and the last person will be fifth person, right? 5. So here what happening? My count is getting ended with that 5. I was getting my value there. In the same way, if you see here, when my browser executes line by line, first it will give this style to my element with border of green color. Then what it will do? It will go on coming one by one line. So then it will execute this line. Then it will execute these lines. So when it comes to this line, what happens? Here I was getting these styles from this one. After that, what we are executing? Again, I was giving new styles to it. So what happens here automatically? The old one will be replaced with the new style. Simply to say, the last type of style, whatever you give to your element, that's what will apply in the browser. So that is why inline is more powerful than any other two types of CSS. Nothing but internal and external CSS. So here, internal is getting loaded before the HTML content. But why the inline is more powerful? Because it was getting accessed within the element, right? So wherever the element is there, I was writing my styles onto that element only. So that is the reason, even the browser executes line by line, the last thing that is going to execute will be my internal inline styles only, right? So that's why if you see here, the first one I was getting red and the second one I was getting green. Got it? So let me do one thing. Let me give some space. Then it will be easy for you to understand. So if you see, red one is separate and green one is separate. So even though I given same, so here border I given, here also I given border. But what's happening here? That border is getting replaced with my inline styles. Got it? So that's why inline is always powerful. It will replace any other styles. So that's why we never write the inline CSS unless it is very important or it is not going to change. Okay. So for example, I written one element. It is very important to highlight that element. Okay. And we are sure that that element can't be replaced. Okay. With any other style. In such cases only, in very rare case, we will write the inline CSS, or else we shouldn't write the inline CSS. Why? Because it can't be overridden by any other type of CSS. Got it? But there is, for everything there will be a solution to override it, right? So even though if the in the college they'll tell come to the college every day, or else we'll debar, will not allow you to exam. So what is the key there for us? Even I was not going for continuous to the college. Okay, I have only 10% attendance, but I will be able to write the exam. How? Condonation. So condonation is the key there for me to access that exam, right? So in the same way here, for example, I wanted to access my internal or external, internal or external CSS, and I want to make that more powerful than the inline CSS. So that is where a keyword comes into the picture, nothing but important. When the user adds an exclamatory mark and important, now if you see the output, so what I was getting, which color I was getting for both the elements? Green. So even now also I have the red color border here, right? Inline, but how it is not getting replaced? Because it was getting replaced by more powerful, which one? Internal CSS. How it became more powerful? Just by adding one single keyword, nothing but exclamatory mark, important. Got it? So that's how you can convert any element into more, any CSS value into more powerful compared to the which one? Inline. But if I just give the same important tag to the inline, for example, I give like to the inline. So now it became too much powerful. So nobody can change it now. You can't, even if you give important to the inline or external, it can't be replaced. Why? Because already the inline is more powerful. You're just making it into the even more powerful. So nobody can change it. So that's what happened here with the inline CSS. That's why inline is always powerful, and we should avoid always using inline CSS. Got it? Until unless it is very necessary. So now let's go with the link tags. So that's how each and every attributes plays a vital role when you're dealing with the HTML elements. So here div is just a, or a is just a tag name. So the whole thing is called as one element. So try to understand the difference between a tag and an element. Tag is nothing but just take one keyword, start and end one. But what is the element called as? The whole content with the tag name, starting and the end tag. Here, starting A is one tag and ending A is one tag. So the whole thing, but the group of tags and the content, it will be called as the one particular element. So don't be confused when we are discussing about tag or element individually. So now if you see this element, what is the attributes I have? Do I have any attribute? No. So what is the purpose of a link basically? So it should do something. It should redirect me to somewhere. So that is the purpose. So yeah, I just given home here, but on clicking of the home, I need to take the user to some other page or somewhere I need to take. So how I can take it? So that's where my attributes come into the picture. Href. Href is nothing but it will just mention us where we need to take out page. Simply to say destination. So it will just tell what is the destination of your page. For example, I give like Amazon.in. Okay. So I save it. Now if you go to the browser, now if you see the color became blue here, right? That means it's already converted into a link tag. So now if I click on it here, what we do is Amazon.in I given. Oh, sorry. Okay. Amazon.in. Okay. So it's already live here. So now let me click one more time. Amazon.in is not there, I guess. Comma. Okay, let me copy from here only. Sorry, we made a mistake. So what is that? So as we mentioned already previously, network is not there. One second. Network is there. Oh, sorry. Amazon. So now if you see, let me copy this URL. So just check this URL what we given here and the URL that I given here. So what is the difference here? So HTTP and HTTPE, these are just the servers just hosting my web page. When I give Amazon.in, what I was doing, I was just checking for the particular file name or particular part that is there in my local path, Amazon.in. But is there any file such with such name in my local? No, there is no file with Amazon.in or something. But for example, let me give the same thing, href. There we are. Href is equal to Amazon.css. Okay. Okay, I given in such way. So now let me convert this file name into Amazon. Okay. Or else make it HTML only. CSS, why? Because it will not reflect anything. So this is Amazon. Let me give some content and go back here. Okay. So now if you see Amazon.html and also I'll give like one more href Amazon.css. Okay. So I have three links now. So when I come back to my browser and when I check it here, where is it? So let me reload. So I have three links. All the three links got activated. Let me keep them in a different line. So I'll use the break tag here and also here also break tag. So I'll just let you know why we are using a break tag. And here if you see, these are not getting in a single line. These are coming line by line. But here these are coming in a single line. So we'll just discuss that in the upcoming classes, why that will happening. So now if you see home, when I click on home, what happened? Automatically taken me to the Amazon website. So now, again, when I click, if you see the URL, what is the URL? Amazon.in, right? But if I click on contact, what I got here? Amazon.html. It is just accessing my local file, right? So now if I get back to the, again, come to third one. If I click Amazon.css and it was mentioning cannot get Amazon.css. Why? As I mentioned you, CSS can be handled only for the execution. CSS will not reflect directly into the browser through HTML. We can't access that code. So now if you see the URL, local server running for what this is the server that is running for us, and also the file that is there on that particular path, right? So that is the difference between a URL with HTTP access and without HTTP access. Got it? So here I was accessing my local files. Here I was accessing a particular URL. So it is also as a normal text. Home, however, the headings are there. The home, contact, and blog is also a normal text, but just with one attribute, href and a tag name A, we are just converting that whole text into a link. Got it? So that's how we'll create the links. For example, now if you see, whenever I click on it, it is immediately opening in the same page. So maybe there are few scenarios, I don't want the user to open that link in the same page. I want always him to open that link in a new tab every time when he clicks. So that's where the attribute called as, pardon? Target. So target comes into the picture. Okay. So what this target will do? This target will mention whether I want to open that link in the same page or whether I want to open it in a new tab or whether I want to open it in some different way. Okay. So if I give like target underscore, let me give underscore blank. So now if I go back and if you see, if I click on it, hey, what's happening? Sorry, I give it to H2. We should give to which one? Anchor tag, right? So you can give multiple attributes to the same element. So here href is one attribute and target is one attribute. So if you see, I have underscore blank underscore parent self and top, right? So each one plays different ways. So if I give blank, now if you see, so this is my page, right? So now if I click on home, what happening? My page is still live here, right? But it opened that link in a new tab. So how it happened? Just by adding one new attribute, nothing but underscore blank. Got it? So in the same way, self, what it will do? Nothing but opening in the same tab, which is already a default behavior of my link. Got it? So that's how you can convert a normal text into a link. And also by converting that text into a link, also we are just making that into the, whether I want to open the same tab or also in the different tab. Destination also I was deciding. So that's how my anchor tag will help me. So you can style whether which color you want, or you want underline or not. These all things can be, you can change, do it individually. You can handle this. Got it? So that's how we'll deal with the which tags, link tags. Okay. So now I guess now you people understood about what is the difference between tags and attributes, and what is the purpose and importance of attributes in each and every element. Got it, right? So anybody have any doubts, both online and offline people? Manjot, Komala, Naushika, Varun, anybody have any doubts?
No.
Okay, cool. So let's dive into our new other topic now. Yeah. So next tags is nothing but, what is the next type of tags? Multimedia tags. So what are the multimedia tags? So audio, video, this all are comes under the multimedia tags. Got it? So now let me go with first one, image. So image is a self-closing tag here. Okay. Now if I go to the browser, what I'm getting here? Am I getting anything here? Empty, nothing I was getting here. But how I can access? By using the attributes. For self-closing tags, definitely the attributes, without attributes, you can't access any content. For general tags, even if I didn't give any attribute, if I just put content, it will be visible. Like if you go with the headings, did I given any attributes here? No, but I was getting my output, right? But for the self-closing tags and void tags, attribute plays a very key role. So without attributes, we can't access the features of that particular tag. Okay. So image is the HTML 4 or 5th version tag. Which version tag it is? What is the 5th version tag? Which tag is replaced with image tag within the HTML5? So img is a HTML4 tag. So which tag replaced this img in the HTML5? Tell me. What about remaining people? What is the tag? No idea. Right? Eating, sleeping, chit-chatting, roaming. That's what you do. I was just mentioned this tag yesterday itself also, right? When I was discussing about HTML5 features, advantages. Figure tag, right, sir? It's the figure tag that is replace this image in the HTML5. So if I go with HTML4 tag, how I'll access? So as I mentioned, attribute plays a very key role. So source, SRC. SRC is nothing but source. What is the purpose of source? I should tell which item I need to access. For example, what is the purpose of you people just coming to your site? Because you enrolled here only. So here there is a particular medium that you want to access. So in the same way, whichever the file that I want to access and showcase, the source of that particular tag, that is what this attribute will give. So here if you see source, I want to access. Do I have any images? Okay. So I'll just tell about this path convention later. Okay. So now I given one of the source here. That means I just given the path. You know what path will, how path will work usually, right? For example, where my file is located, that is what path we call it as generally. Okay, in the live servers, the images live paths won't work. So in that case, definitely we should access with file static files only. So if you see now, the same code only, but in the live servers, until unless the files are declared in the server type, it will not access the local paths images. That's why you are not getting. So that's why you open a static file. So if you see here, if you see, this is the path of my file, right? In the users, there is a username called Manoj Chaudhary, and then on the desktop I have a folder name called AIT. Within that AIT I have a file name called tags.html. So however here path is playing a key role in accessing my thing. So for example, what is the image name we have here? Logo 512.png, right? So instead of tags.html, logo 512.png. There is some mistake. So let me access all the files of this file. Okay, so it is not there in this folder. It is there somewhere in the desktop, right? So desktop, I have all these. So I have in React. Oh, cool. Okay. First block within the public, I have 512. So now I was able to access the image or not? So that's why I said anything can be accessed in the browser. Browser lo manam ఏ ఫైల్ ని యాక్సెస్ చేయొచ్చు. HTML ఫైల్ కావచ్చు, image or doc or anything can be accessed by giving just particular correct path in the browser URL, right? So here previously it was my HTML file path. I just replaced that path with my which one? Image path. Okay. So now that is the reason why what happened. I got that particular image. So what I was doing, I was giving the same thing here in the SRC. So I was just giving the path. So this is called as dotted convention. What it means is, for example, so when you give a, where is that particular, my image is there located. My image is located on the desktop. Okay. So when you give directly here, if you see in the href, you see directly I given amazon.html. Why? Because the file is the file html amazon.html and my html, which one, tags.html, located in the same folder. They are not located in two different folders, right? So for simply to say, if I was carrying a bag, if I have two notebooks, just imagine that I have two notebooks. So whether one is for social and one is for biology. So whichever the notebook I want, I can access it. But which is holding it? My bag. In the same way here, I have multiple files which are holding within my folder. Okay, folder name AIT folder is holding it. But if you see the image whichever we want to access, is it there inside of that folder? No, right? It is outside of that folder. So that is where the path conventions comes into the picture. Path conventions plays a very vital role when you're dealing with the paths. Okay, but it is never recommendable for a dynamic web pages to use these type of path conventions, as it is a static page and we are just for demo purpose we'll be using this type. So whenever you give a dot slash, what we are getting? The files which are there within the same folder. So the dot mentions that I was just searching the files which is in my folder. Got it? But when you give double dot slash, it will just go, what happens? One step backward. That means it will just going out of my folder to the back side. So if you see, this is what my desktop, okay, users desktop, I told you. So usually users is the default path. Okay, whenever you are accessing users will be the default path. So, but here, as my file is on the desktop, right? So in the desktop, when I give dot slash, first time I got only two files because I was accessing within the folder, HOSID folder. This folder I was accessing. But when I give double dot slash, I was accessing, I gone out of that folder back. So when I go one step backward, I have these many folders there, like AIT, GRK, Isha, JS, Photoshoot, preparation, like that. I have multiple folders and files. In this, which one is the particular one we want to access? So React projects is what we want to access. Okay. So now within that, I want to access first plot. So if you just see, I have only one folder in that. So it was visible here. So within that, which one I need to access? So if you say I have multiple files and images, so I want to access public folder. And within that public folder, I don't want any other things. I want this logo 512. So when I save it, what happened? I got my image or not? So if you just click on it, let me click on it. See, I go, if you see the path, users, Manoj, desktop, React projects, I got my image or not. In this path, it is available. So for example, if my image is not available in that path, what happens? So like, I'll remove one folder, public. Okay. So here I'll not get any error. Why? Because it's a path convention, local path convention. But if I go back to the browser, okay, I didn't save it. Reload. I didn't reload it. Okay. Live. Okay. Let me reload here. Now, if you say, am I able to see that image? How the user will know? For example, I just given one image to be visible, but it is not loading because I given a wrong path. My image is not in that particular path. If you go and check, so in this particular path, I don't have any image. If I check by clicking, see what is telling? An error occurred while loading the image, right? There is no image in that particular place. So in that cases, how user will know what is the image is missing, whether image is there or not? He don't even know, right? అక్కడ ఇమేజ్ ఉందా లేదా కూడా తెలియదు యూజర్ కి. సో వీ షుడెంట్ లెట్ ద యూజర్ నాట్ టు నో దట్. వీ షుడ్ ఏబుల్ టు టెల్ ద యూజర్ దట్ there is a image, whether it is loading with some issue, it was not showing. So that is where alt attributes comes into the picture, nothing but alternative. Got it? So what this alternative will do, for example, I given some content like React logo, and now if you go with the same, so if you see here, what I am getting here, React logo. For example, I'll give the path correctly. Public, right? Okay. Save it. And now if I reload, am I able to see that text here now? React logo? No. Why? Because it's just an alternative text. Whenever my image is not getting loaded, at the time I load my text. If the text is getting loaded, that means automatically, definitely my image is not getting loaded. If the image is loading properly, my alt, what it will tell? So the browser tell the image is loading properly. You alt tab, no need to interfere here. You just stay hidden. So that's what my alt tag will do. Now, if you see, did I given any width or height to my image here? No. What happening here? Default it was taken. Nothing but it will take the default size of that image. Okay. So what is the default size? If you go with the give me a minute. Was not able to. Okay. So if I just go and check with the dimensions of this image. So what is the dimensions of this image? Let me check it out. So what is the size here? 512 into 512. Height is 512 and width is 512. That is the default size of that image. Okay. If the so now if I want to increase the size of that image, okay, for example, I don't want this inspect. What's happening? Yeah, I don't want this to. Just give me a minute. I don't want to inspect. Yeah. So now, if you see here, so this is the default size. So automatically it got loaded with the default size. For example, if I give here attribute I was directly using is width is one of the attribute that we can directly use for the multimedia. So width I give as 512 is the default size, right? I given as 300 px. So px and rem and also what we have px rem. Then what is the values we have? And VH, these are some of the values, units, measuring units that we have in the sim. For example, generally centimeters, meters, how we have to calculate the dimensions, right? In the same way, here we have px and some other values that we'll get to calculate the dimensions. Okay, now I given like 300 px. If I save and go to the browser, am I able to see any change? Definitely it got changed. Let me reduce very less. Then only we can see clearly. So, okay, if I reload it here, so what happened here? It might become too small. So, if you see, my image got reduced, size is reduced, right? So, if you check also, so what is the size now? 300 into 300, right? But here, did I mention any height to this? We mentioned only width, but how we are getting height? So, I don't want height, I want height to be different. Height of 200 px or else 100 px I given. Okay. And if I reload now, so now what happened? Height is reduced, but what is the issue we got here? My image got compressed, but previously I just given height. At the time my image was good. How? Because browser, even though you write your code, browser also help you to deal with that, fix that issue sometimes. Okay. For example, I given height of 500 px. So not every time the height and width will be same. This is a rectangle image. That's why for 512 into 512 the default size. So that's why whenever I give height of width of 300, it automatically taken a width height of 300 equally. But when I given height of 100, usually by manually, what happened? Automatically image got compressed. So what happening here is, whenever users gives a particular one property, whether height or width, for now, just imagine I didn't given width of 300 px. I just given height of 200 px. Okay. So now if I go to the browser and if I reload, now did I got my image properly or not? Did I got any compression? Now let's check what is the dimensions of that one. We given only width, sorry, height, right? We didn't given any width to it, but still it is getting width of 200 px. Why? Because whenever users gives only one particular value, whether height or width, these are the two dimensions we can access, right? Do you have any other dimensions here? Height or width, these two only we can handle. One is vertically, one is horizontally, right? So the browser, what it will do when the user gives 500 px, for that 500 px, what is the particular width is required? Okay, it will calculate automatically. So here, for example, I'll access any other image, and instead of this one, let me access. Yeah. So just 1 more minute, we'll wind up this session. Okay. Okay, I'll access one normal image I want to access. Okay. So let me access a personal image, but no issues. I'll just try to explain here. So now if you see here, let me remove this width and height, and I don't want anything. Okay. So let me remove it. And if I reload, so if you see, my image is too big. Okay, it's a camera taken image. So my image is too big. If you see, I was even getting the overflow here, horizontal overflow. As I already mentioned, a page you should never overflow horizontally. It should always overflow vertically only. But here, if you see, my image, my page is getting overflown because my image, oh, let's check what is the dimensions of that image. So what is the dimension? 4000 into 2250. But my screen width is only, what is my screen width? It's very less. Okay, like 1200 or something, my width is there. But here, my image size is 4 times bigger than my screen size. So automatically, what happened here? Overflow is created. Now, I just make a small change like width of how I can avoid this issue. If the page image I want the whole page, definitely I'll just give 100%. If you see here, previously I given as px, now I given percentage. Now if I go back and if I reload now, what happened? I got the image to fully or not to my page, right? I got my image. So am I seeing any overflow here? Why? Because I was mentioned clearly that my image should take the 100% width of the screen. Okay, so that's what it is mentioning. So now if you check the dimensions, like what is the height or width of this image? So 612 into 344. So let me get it down. Now let's see what is the dimension now. Now what is the dimension here? 1167 width, and height will be the secondary one, 656. If you see, my image is didn't compressed or nothing happened, but my dimensions is automatically changed here. Height is also changed, width is also got changed. Why? Because the browser knows for how much width the image will look properly, because my image will definitely, whenever you access any image in the browser, it will have a default size, right? Previously, I have a rectangle, sorry, square image, 512 into 512. That's why whatever the height I give, so automatically width should be same, or width whatever I give, height should be same to make it look exactly. But here 4000 into 2000, my dimension of that image. So automatically now height is different and width is different. So now when I give 100%, what browser will do? For example, just imagine my 100% width size is 2000 px. So browser will think that, okay, when I was compressing that image to 2000 px width, so what is the height need to be there based on the default height? Okay, so default height is 2300, default width is 4000. Now I was reducing whole width into the 2000 only. So I can't give height also 2000, right? So if I just give height to for this image as like what is the default height? Height of 2000 px. So now what happened? It got stretched vertically, right? Vertically it got stretched. Is it even looking good? See, is it even looking good? No, right? So that's what browser giving us the advantage. So based on if you give any one value, based on that value, it will calculate the other value and give us the proper output. So not only the user developer, the user browser also will helping me to deal with this type of images and dimensions of that particular multimedias. Got it? So this is here, I was just accessed by using the context path images. So in the same way, however we are doing here, if you go with the videos, we'll have a video tag and their source will be the video and the extension will be .mp4. So any type of extension that you can use like PNG or JPG, but the main thing is the path should be correct and also the extension should be correct. If I just give instead of JPG, JPEG I given, just imagine I given as JPEG. If I save it and go there and if I reload, where is it? Am I getting my image? It was telling React logo. Why? Because there is no image with the name of .jpg there. It is a JPG format. So even the extension also plays a very key role when dealing with the images or multimedia types. Got it? So this is how you can access any multimedia, like whether video or image or anything. For videos, you'll get the attribute, one more attribute called type, which will mention that whether it is MP3 or whether it's what type of video it is. Like also we have start loop. There are many attributes that you'll get into the when dealing with the video and audio multimedia types. Got it? So is anybody have any doubts in accessing this context path? How we are accessing the path? Path ఎలా access చేస్తాం అనే doubt ఉందా? Online guys, anybody have any doubts?
No, sir.
So is it clear like how we are accessing the path here? I'm asking Komala, Naushika, Manjit, Varun.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Okay, so now what is your today's task is? I want you people to go through the all the multimedia tags. What is the date today? So 5/9, right? Okay, first one, note down all the multimedia tags. Okay, so now also I want you people to create a HTML page with all with different links and on click of each image, each link, I want to show different images. Understood what I said? So I want, for example, I have 10 different images I kept in my folder. I want 10 links. So whenever user clicks on each link, I want the user to access that particular image. So I don't want, for example, when here if you see, when I'm clicking on this home page, I was going back to Amazon, right? But just imagine here, do you have any other option of accessing my other images here? Just imagine this is your one of the image you opened, but I don't have. But how I want you people to do is, just imagine this is your page. You have 10 different images with 10 different links. So now what I did, I click on today's deals. I was able to access my image, but at the same time, my links are still there. Got it? So now I can access other image also like this. When I click on each and every link, I want to showcase that image in the down. Got it? That's what the task you need to do. Is it clear? Any doubts in the task? On clicking of each image, you need to showcase that image in the down, and you should not redirect. That means directly jumping into that image and not showing other image. That's not what I wanted. So నాకు ఇదే విధంగా లింక్స్ ఉండాలి. ఒక్కొక్క లింక్ పైన క్లిక్ చేసినప్పుడు I should access one image. Got it? So try to create that page by using HTML. Okay, you can use CSS if you want to, but I'll explain the upcoming classes. Clear? Any doubts? Cool. Okay, then you can leave. So tomorrow I'll check personally each and every person notebook. Okay, if you are done with your system, I want you to get your system. Okay, try to carry your laptops every day if you have. Okay, it will be helpful for you people. So I think Komala, Naushika, Manjut, everybody are clear with the task, right?
So,
Varun,
Yes.
cool. So anybody have any doubts, or anybody feel that we are going fast or slow? Anything that we need to change for the tomorrow session? Online people and offline, I'm asking both. No. Cool, but you people have to change. If I see any people who are not coming with the task tomorrow, definitely you will see the real anger of me. Okay. I'll not do anything. I'll let you people to just do 100 push-ups here. Girl or boy? Girls 50, boys 100. I stick to my word. That is for sure. Don't forget. Okay. Cool, guys. Online people, I'll give you 1,000 keywords assignment. Don't forget that I can't give you any tasks. Okay. I want you people also to complete, online people. Got it? Okay, then have a nice day. I'll share the recording in few minutes. You can go through the recording one more time if you have any doubts. And I want you people to complete tasks. Tomorrow, if I see anybody who don't have this HTML cheat sheet in your mobile or anywhere in your notebook, definitely then you will get to know what will happen tomorrow. Okay, cool then. Thank you all. You can leave. Okay. Thank you guys. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you.